I got to talk to this guy. I mean, he's on my hit list for the 17th. Jeremy Conn, mornings on the Fan in Baltimore. It's always good to see you, Jeremy. I got to tell you, the Steelers-Ravens game, I'm going to that one in Pittsburgh, and it's always good. It's like, I just think it's the greatest rivalry in that division without a doubt, and one of the best rivalries in the NFL. And the Steelers give them problems. You know it. I know it. I don't know if they can beat them again. I mean, they've certainly beaten them before, and they play well against them, even in Baltimore. But this one's in Pittsburgh. Are you looking forward to that one?
It's going to be a blast, man. There's so many opportunities now to watch this Ravens offense and the different defenses they're going to face. See how good these numbers can get, because Derrick Henry's having an amazing year. Lamar's having that year, and I know we'll probably get into that. But this rivalries you talked about, there's only been a handful of times that I say this didn't apply because of all the injuries, but you can throw the records out. It doesn't matter. I mean, Pittsburgh's had a third-string quarterback take Baltimore to overtime and almost beat them. The Ravens have gone in and won when they shouldn't against the Steelers, so that's definitely going to be a fun game.
It's crazy how, the Steelers are ahead of them, and then they won again yesterday. Jackson, what do you have, 3 TDs, and he always gets it done. He's impressive. Are you surprised that Pittsburgh was in first going into their bye, and now they're going to come out and play Washington this week? Are you surprised that they went into the bye with the lead in the division?
Absolutely. Pittsburgh was, I don't want to say they were an afterthought in this division, but when everybody talked about it, it was the Ravens and Bengals. Some were a little bit more bullish on the Browns. There were a handful of people that liked the Steelers. But we always kept saying, hey, they're not going to be below 500 because that's what Mike Tomlin does, as cliche as that is. We thought they'd be decent, and, the battles between the Ravens and them would be tough, but couldn't expect them to be here. And the other part of this, too, is if you look at the Ravens, and I know people like to do this, they're a toe away from a loss in Kansas City. They blew a 10-point lead at home against the Raiders. And that game last week, if anybody on the defensive secondary could catch an interception, maybe the outcome's a little bit different. This is a dangerous team. They could hurt themselves, though, if they keep this up with the defense, which has been leaking.
I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people think that they're the only team that can beat Kansas City, in the playoffs. And we already went down this road in the title game in the Charm City, and they couldn't get it going, and they lost that game, and it was a low-scoring game. Do you think that they can actually get back to that game and beat them?
I do. I think last year, though, it's interesting because that Ravens team was one of the best football teams I've seen play. When you look at their metrics and see where they rank historically on defense and on offense, they won the Triple Crown on defense that year. That's why it's kind of odd seeing how bad the defense looks this year. In that game, the comedy of errors as things go. Lamar misses Rashad Bateman on a touchdown. Instead, it's a fumble going the other way. Zay Flowers fumbling into the end zone. How does that happen? There were a bunch of bad breaks, and nobody's going to feel sorry for the Ravens or anything like that. But this team's offense right now with Derrick Henry, that mesh point with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry on that handoff, whether he's keeping it or not on an RPO, it's the biggest cheat code in the NFL right now.
Who do you think will be the wild card and who will win the division? Because they're going to play them twice, Pittsburgh, and I know we just talked about it, but at the end of the day, I still think it's, those two are going. Without a doubt, they're both going. One of them's going to win it, and one of them's going to be a wild card.
Yeah, I think ultimately the Ravens win this division just because when you look at the way the schedule's matched up down the stretch. Have you looked at that? Have you looked at the Steelers' schedule?
Jeremy, God, you backstabber.
Was I supposed to say the Steelers here? My bad, man. But no, I do think the Ravens end up holding on here just because this offense is really, really special. I mean, they're going to have a chance to have 2 1,000-yard receivers and 2 1,000-yard rushers, which I'm not sure if that's ever been done in the history of the league.
I mean, the way they run the ball between Jackson, who, apparently had a back and a knee and, still went for almost 303 tutties. I wish I had those problems. But it's this guy, Henry. I've never doubted him. Even when he came over, people said, oh, he's old. I mean, you must be crazy. This guy's not old. He's shredded. He works out like a fiend. He treats his body like a temple, and he runs over people. I mean, this guy still has it, and he's the best running back in the NFL, bar none.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because defensive backs are definitely making business decisions when he runs by the linebackers. And he's one of those guys you just got to keep feeding the beast because you don't know when he's going to break off a 70-yard run. A guy that big and that fast, and it wears down defenses. And, I know Tennessee used to start ramping him up towards the end of November with the carries. Ravens have limited him in a few games. I know last game he had like 26. But I don't think it really matters because people were worried about, he's going to be 30 and he's hitting that mark and can he keep it up? His first couple years, he didn't run the ball that much. I mean, he split time. And as you said, it's a well-oiled machine. I don't know that anybody works out harder than this guy.
I mean, what did they scored on? I got bored watching it. 7 straight possessions they scored. And I got to tell you, I was surprised, not at what they did, but with how poorly Denver showed up for that game and got stomped because I thought they had a defense. And I thought, frankly, Bo Nix looks like he's okay with being a pro quarterback. Like he's not afraid of the moment. And I thought they looked terrible yesterday. I mean, obviously, I thought the Ravens made them look terrible. But did you see that coming? A complete blowout and owning them like they did and scoring every time they touched the ball?
I was the only one at my station that said it was going to happen, as far as I know,
really?
because I love the spot for him. Carolina ran the ball efficiently and that's a bad football team on Denver. This running game, if you're going to try to stay with it and stop it. Lamar's proven now he's got as many perfect passer ratings, and he just had one on Sunday as Ben Roethlisberger does, 4 in his career, and he's still got a whole damn career left to do more damage. This guy can throw the football, and I think what Denver did is they sold out to stop the run, and they realized that, as I said this morning, it was like when Billy Madison got the dodgeball. Now you're all in big, big trouble because he can throw. And watching this now, there's weapons on offense. And guys, Zay Flowers making a great move right before the half and scoring a touchdown, to me, changes the game. But now you have game changers like that. So, he does have weapons, and he is dangerous back there. He can beat you with his feet, and now he's proven he can beat you with his arm.
Yeah, I thought, obviously, I thought Zay had a big game, and Henry, as we mentioned, had a couple tutties as well. He still went over a buck. He didn't have one of his usual, buck and a half or more games, but he still got it done. And it's weird. He's always going over a buck. Najee's been going over a buck 3 straight games. I can't wait to see how those two run against each other in this game on the 17th, because the Steelers have a legit defense, and really Baltimore thought that was their crux. That was their problem, was their defense. Do they think they've solved it at all with what they did yesterday?
No, there were still guys wide open all over the field. And Bo Nix, we talked about him, or you just mentioned him. He's a guy that couldn't really push the ball downfield on him. There's a couple throws when he watches that film he's going to want back where guys were open and he just didn't hit them, including that 4th down play. So the Ravens have some wholesale issues in the secondary, and I think a lot of it starts with the pass rush more so. I know they're trying to find a trade partner to maybe beef that up a little bit, but it's difficult to find somebody that's willing to move one of those players for the right price.
So what's the deal with his back and knee? And then he has is it all fake? Because he had a 158.3 passer rating. I mean, the guy, he almost, he was 16 of 19, had a perfect day. And I heard about all these problems he's having. I wish I had those problems. Honestly, the guy goes off no matter what his problems are.
Yeah, I don't think that was it. I think there was something to maybe taking a couple days off to just let that body heal up from all the hits he takes running the football. But yeah, I mean, he steps on the field and he's slinging it.
Listen, I hate you, and I don't even want to see you until the Steelers beat the Ravens on the 17th. Have a miserable day, Jeremy. Good to see you, buddy.